Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm looking at breakup. And this time I'm looking at breakup in an intimate partner relationship. And when a breakup happens, it could be through separation or divorce, people go through loss and grief. And so I'll be reframing the 5 stages of loss and grief and comparing with what we also go through when we go through a breakup. And the first phase is denial. And this is where partners experience denial. It can't happen. I have invested a lot in this relationship. What about our children? What about this? What about me? What about? There is a lot of denial. And denial is a response in our mind that responds to protect us when bad news happen. And so there is a lot of denial there, and there are a lot of emotions that you feel because you're trying to imagine that it has happened, but it can't. And then we move from that stage to another stage of anger. And there is a lot of guilt, anger. How can he do that? How can she do that? Why? Why me? After all those years, and you experience a lot of anger, and you try to look at the past, you even try to look at the future. And at this point, I want to tell couples that anger is normal. It's a normal response to everyone. But the question is, what do you do with that anger? It's always good to make sure that you don't take that anger to be destructive. So when you are in that angry moment, make sure that you journal, make sure that you're doing exercise, make sure that you're taking care of yourself. But just know it is normal. Then you are able to transition and to move to another phase that we call bargaining. This is where you are bargaining. And what I've seen in therapy room, during bargaining, I see the couple promising each other and trying even to call each other, let us reconcile. And there are a lot of promises in this phase. But this is what happens. These promises, they are hardly being implemented, because by the end of the day, you are the same people. And you give promise, you also bargaining. Probably he or she can change. Probably. So you try to bargain. And in most cases, you try even to come back together. And 70% it doesn't work. During this phase, it's good to weigh before you make any conclusion. Before you accept, oh, let's try this, make sure you have someone who is helping you. Make sure that you are bargaining with someone. Make sure you are sober. And then once you move from bargaining, we move to depression. There is a lot of sadness. There is a lot of guilt. You start feeling guilt. And what I tell people at this stage, make sure you take care of yourself. Do not forget yourself. Be in touch with yourself. Because in most cases, you'll find yourself, you are angry. In most cases, you are sad. There are a lot of emotions that are going on in this phase of depression. Now, in this phase is where I tell people, try to avoid negative coping mechanism, because you may find that it's easy to take alcohol, to jump into other relationship too fast, drugs, at this moment, kindly avoid such negative coping mechanism, because what they do, they give you a temporary relief. If you jump to another relationship too fast, we call it a rebound relationship. It will harm you more in the long term. If you cope with drugs, if you cope with alcohol, or all those negative mechanisms, they may harm you more at the wrong end. So try to do things that are positive. You could join a gym, you could join a class, you could start reading, you could do something that is helping you as a person. So you can also, even at this point, you can also try to journal your feeling, how you're waking up. And the most important thing at this stage, look for a support system. It could be a trusted friend, a trusted family. Look for a good support system. And the final phase that we jumped into is acceptance. This is where we accept it has happened. And let me tell you, people, you don't just wake up and the sun is shining or it is good. No, you look back and ask yourself, I have walked the journey of all these feelings, emotions. I have made it. And so you start accepting, I can move on. I can work through. You don't accept that it has happened, but you have accepted that you have come a wrong journey and it's doable. And at this phase again, try to talk to someone. And I tell people it's good to go to therapy. If you don't have a therapist, reflect, have someone who can hold your hand. But let me tell you, there is no set phase that you are in. You are supposed to move from phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3. No. Sometimes you are in acceptance. Sometimes you are in bargaining. Sometimes you are in denial. What would help you is the phase that you are in. Make sure that you are in touch with yourself. And how would you know that you have healed? How you know that you have healed is when you look back and see the journey you have come from, and you are no longer crying, but you feel you are a conqueror and you feel you have the strength to move on. That's how you know that you're on your way to healing. Let me tell you guys, it's doable. You can move through all those phases and you can heal as long as you are in touch with yourself. Don't forget you. Don't forget yourself. Thank you so much. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Thank you so much.